This mask is proof. Proof that I went to go see this. Smurfy greetings, YouTubers. It is I3 Hellgear. I was lucky enough to find a theater in my neck of the woods to bust out with a special sneak release of Smurfs The Lost Village. So, I'm going to take this time not only to review the movie, but also open the floor for a little bit of a discussion regarding what happens now. So, first and foremost, if you guys enjoy hearing me out on this movie, show your love, that blue buddy love, hit the like button for me. Also, if you feel like anything in this saying of mine is something you agree with or disagree with, let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know in the comment section below, question of our review. What was your favorite part of the Smurfs Lost Village movie? Last but not least, if you do not want to hear anything as far as Smurfs The Lost Village is concerned until after you see it on April 7th, feel free to 1. Hit the like button, 2. Click on that tab below that says add to and add this to your watch later playlist. Alright, so here we go. What if the Smurfs that we know and love, that we all thought was the only village around, were never alone, and there were other Smurfs around, living their happy, Smurfy, peaceful lives? This is the question that gets answered in this movie. Now, unlike the first two movies where they're centered around family or a specific other Smurf, the center of this movie focuses around what is a Smurfette. Or to quote Farmer Smurf, a Smurfette is a combination of Smurf and et. What's an et? I don't know. And this is Smurfette's dilemma. She is our heroine of the tale. And this tale lasts 80 minutes. That's right, it's an 80-minute film. So, all you parents who want to take your kids to see the movie, go right ahead. Guilty pleasure. So, back to our story. Smurfette's feeling down about being the odd Smurf out, which makes sense because in this village of 100 Smurfs, it's 99 guys and her. And I'm going to pause right there just to throw this out. The timeline of this movie does a couple of things. One, the Smurflings are nowhere to be seen. Neither is Baby Smurf. So this gives you a bit of a setup on where along Smurf timeline or chronology this video takes place. Anyway, going back to the storyline, she feels the odd Smurf out because unlike the other guys who are defined by their traits, she really doesn't have a defining trait or a dominant trait. And this is a bit of a discovery for her. So while feeling blue about the subject, Hefty, Brainy, and Clumsy decide, let's go do something fun. And in the midst of doing something fun which goes wrong, Smurfette runs into another Smurf. And then we get the lovely reign of the parade by everyone's favorite antagonist. Fast forward, after figuring out there are more of them, the big issue is letting Papa know that there are more Smurfs. And he doesn't take it too well. In fact, he goes super defensive about it. So what do you do when you have a super defensive Papa that won't listen to you and will even ground you about this? You pack a bag and you make a break for it in the cover of night. This is great. Eventually, they do find the village, and Smurfette finds herself. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say in a nutshell. So, let's talk about the key components of this tale. First, the animation. Unlike the Smurf cartoons that were known and loved for viewing, this one is 3D CGI. Just like the first two movies and half of Smurfs Legend of the Smurfy Hollow. You know, Sony Animation Studios, who I believe the Sony Animation was known for doing the first couple of Smurf movies, they really outdid themselves for a movie which had the project code name of Get Smurfy. And they really did indeed get Smurfy. You know, the colors in the animation were really solid. The designs were really clean. And I couldn't find too much wrong with it, even while watching and analyzing it. But I'm sure that Movie Mistakes is going to find some errors with this that I'm going to have to either nitpick with or let them know that that mistake is not actually a mistake, but it was intended on purpose. Even fill them in on the ones that they missed. Because, you know, the dude who narrates the Movie Mistakes, he asks that sort of thing. You know, color-wise, it's very, very nice. You know, it has its moments of light color. It has its moments of dark color. It's not super pastel for a movie that's slated for the Friday before Easter Sunday, because this is going to be an Easter theme or Easter projected movie. And the dark segments of it aren't really all that dark. The use of color, light, and shadow are done very, very well. You know, the acting of the movie. I actually did like the acting in the movie. There were no real delayed lines. Everyone covered their Smurf very, very well. And in Clumsy's case, Jack McBrayer, aka Fix-It Felix from the Wreck-It Ralph lore, second movie's coming next year. He actually played Clumsy Smurf even more to a T than Clumsy actually is, and I have no problems with that. You know, but all the other characters and voice actors and actresses who played their Smurfs, they do it well, including Rainn Wilson, who rocks Gargamel in this movie. He does a really good job as well. You can tell that, again, like I said in my Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of the Dimensions review, it's not just reading the lines off a script. They're acted out well, they're delivered well, the approach is nice. You know? Progression of the story. Unlike most movies where the story progresses, how it's, alright, you got some movie here, good stuff, and then it drags a bit, how it, you know, it's like a roller coaster. You get good part of the movie, and then it dips down to be a bit laggy, then it goes back up to the regular part of the movie, and then laggy again. None of that happened in this movie. There were no back-to-back high and low moments about story, plot development, character development, you know, what else or whatever. Now, I have 3 specific gripes about this movie. One gripe that is actually good, and the other 2 gripes that are bad. And one of the gripes that's actually bad goes into this whole portraying of the storyline. For me, it felt too fast. You know, I get that it's an 80-minute film for animation, but the flow of the story felt a little fast for me. You know, I understand you want to get to everything really good because of Smurf Mania and the Blue Fever and whatnot, but you gotta have a pace on the story, and the story wasn't as paced out as I liked it to be, or preferred an animated feature to be. You know, the pacing was kind of out there. But when they finally got to the Lost Village, boy did things start to get interesting. Some of the scenes from the Twitter posts about daylight savings time going forward and Mardi Gras actually are shown in the movie, especially the one they recently had with Swaggy Smurf, which is not an actual Smurf. That's just Hefty doing his thing. Another thing, and I'm going to talk about the gripe that I have, that's a gripe in a good way. When we get to this new village, in a sense, they kind of treat the guys, they demasculate the boys a bit. You know, it's not that much, but they are demasculated a bit. And I don't want to sound sexist or anything like that, and I don't want to come off as sexist, but kind of felt like they were inferior. Brainy and Hefty didn't make their situation any better either with what's going on with them. But I do like how they did Smurfy Grove, which is the name of this other village found in the Forbidden Forest. Of course, part of this, I have another question to ask, which is this. And part of my deal here. How do you describe the Lost Village in 3 words? Well, I can describe it in 2 words. Amazon Smurfs. That is essentially how they live, their grove, you know. Unlike most of our village, which is mushrooms and whatnot, their places that they live are up in the trees throughout the forest and whatnot. You know, they're up in there. And to make this even more of why I say Amazons, their primary weapon of combat, bow and arrows. Just about every Smurf there, bow and arrows. And if they aren't using bows and arrows, they're rocking spears. Now, to answer the question about the boys, Smurf Willow says it clear, there are no boys in this village. It is all girls. So once again, if you were the ones who were betting Smurfs that said that this was a village of all ladies, you're right. And Andre Black Nerd, sorry to disappoint you, homie. It's not all girls and one dude, like you said. So moving along, character development. The characters that were named, you know, the ladies of the village, I'm not going to describe them again. They actually did their roles, you know. I still like Smurf Lily. She's super cute. Smurf Blossom is just like that hyperactive girl, and you can tell she's a hyperactive girl. Smurf Storm doesn't say too much, but when she does say things, you can tell she puts her emphasis on things. She's supposed to be the bad chick. Bad in a good way. You know? And Willow is the leader of the village. Simply put. Alright, so what happens at the end where we saw with the Megan Trainor thing? And that's another question I gotta fill everybody in on, and that is simple. They have the Smurf party, the sweet dancing party, and ooh, they got Smurfette has a dance troupe, man. They got a real sweet dance troupe. Especially Clumsy with his unintentional breakdance moves, though. That was awesome, man. Super awesome. One of the gripes, and I know I said this, but here's another gripe, and this is the one that really grinds my gears, or grinds my Smurf berries in the puree. We got lore on Smurfette. Yes, we get lore on Smurfette. They do the whole shot, black hair and all. We did not get lore about this other village, and that is something that I was really hoping to see. I wanted to know the lore about the other village of Smurfy Grove, because that's the biggest mystery. You know, no backstory on Smurfy Grove, and that is a bummer to me. You know, we got to see the new village of the Amazons in Smurfy Grove. They got the little wall and everything else. Looks great. Especially the weight room scene. I love that. And I have to retract my information from the previous video. There actually is a girl spotting the one who's on the table doing the benching. But it was great. You know. Overall, I did enjoy this movie. You know, I had my gripes about it. But in light of my 2 bad gripes, one about being feel that it's a bit too fast-paced for 80 minutes, and the other about not getting the lore on Smurfy Grove. You know, I can understand the whole ladies putting the boys down a bit. Again, kudos to Smurf Willow for making Smurfy Grove's ladies real solid. And I mean, that's something guys want in a lady, you know. One that'll hold their own. And especially one that'll hold it down with you when it comes to a fight. Which brings me to another gripe that I had on this. And that gripe is Gargamel just ran into Smurfy Grove and took it over quickly. You know, I don't understand that one bit. The ladies are a bunch of bad ones. Bad blue babes. Archers and everything. I know I wasn't expecting like the rain of arrows from 300. And, you know, I wasn't. But you could have put up a little bit more of a fight. You know, Gargamel just runs up in there and blam. And we even learn a little special talent about Smurfette. But I'm not going to share that one with you. You'll just have to see the movie yourself to find that one out. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this movie a solid 9. Again, could have been a longer movie. I was hoping it would be at least an hour and a half, but 80 minutes, that's an hour and a third. You know, it could have been better than that. I wanted more lore on Smurfy Grove. You know, I want to explain, all right, how long they've been there, blah, 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 you know. And one of the things I found out later, thanks to one of the other people in my Smurf community, is a little more on Smurf Melody. Apparently, that stick that Smurf Melody held in the pictures that I showed in the previous video, that helps her out. See, Smurf Melody is a bit of a siren. She can use her voice and channel the pitches and tones and use it like a weapon, which is pretty cool. So let's get into the predictions that I did in the previous movie. First prediction that I made about Smurf Lily giving Smurfette the map. I was half right about that. What happened is she didn't necessarily have a map. Gargamel's map was the one that had it. It was Gargamel's map, but the map was found out from Smurf Lily's hat. So I get a half a point there. Next prediction. The Smurfy Grove being created by Gargamel. And I said that wasn't the case. Thank God I was right. You know, it only makes sense. If Smurfy Grove was made by Gargamel, that would have defeated the purpose of the movie. Because he would already know where this village is, and he would already know where to take it over, instead of going through all the problems that he did in the movie. Especially that part with the river scene. That river scene was really, really cool. Next prediction. Smurfette staying with the ladies of Smurfy Grove. You're going to have to watch the movie to find out if my prediction on that one was right or not. If you want to know what my predictions were, check out the previous video where I talk about it. I will link in the description below. Next one, game revolving around the movie. There is one, but it is not available in the United States of America. If you want to play it, you'll probably have to check out, what is it? They said something on the back of this mask. Blah, 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 playsmurfs.com. Apparently, it is a puzzle game. Now, as soon as it becomes available on mobile, which is weird, so look for it in the Google Play Store, typed it up. It actually came up in the search before I could finish typing it up. So I clicked on it on my tablet. It's not available in your country. Hopefully Google Play will get with it on that one, because I do want to play it, especially since puzzles are my favorite kind of video game. Let's see. Shipping. Gotta talk about the shipping. My movie ship of Hefty and Smurfstorm, that didn't happen, because I'm kind of bummed out about that one. But are you guys talking about Papa and Willow? Oh, there's hints of that. So get the fan art ready. Get the fan art ready. Let me see. Other things that I want to... Oh, that one. Fan service. Gotta talk about the fan service one, because this was something that the community was asking me about. Yeah. We do get fan service in the movie. You know, there is fan service, not like cleavage fan service, but like upskirt fan service. But yes, it is in the movie. And this brings up another issue that I was talking about, and that is the tail issue. Ironically enough, on the merchandise, the girls on their plush dolls, they have their tail. Because, like I said, I saw a Smurf Lily plush doll, and the plush doll had Smurf Lily with a tail. But in the movie, the ladies of Smurfy Grove do not have tails present. And those are my lamb chops. Yeah, lamb chops are done. Yeah, I'll be heating up dinner after this one. But yes, the girls of Smurfy Grove, their tails are not shown. And for some reason, they have quite a fascination towards Brainy's tail. Ah, that's good stuff. Now the big question, is it worth seeing again? Yeah, I'll be in the theaters one more time around April, watching this movie again. That's a given. Anyway, let me go deal with these lamb chops of mine. Let me know what you guys thought of my review. If you agree with or disagree with anything I have to say, let me know in the comment section below. Tell me your favorite scene from the movie, or multiple favorite scenes from the movie, even if it is after April 7th, when you have seen this movie after clicking on your Watch Later feature. But now I take my lamb chops from the oven, because they're done, and so am I. Thanks for hearing me out, and I'll see you guys next time.